welcome to my ultimate bunny guide. Going to be running through my builds really. Excuse me? Hello? I'm going to be running through my setup really quick for my infinite Sonic build as well as my boss killer build. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I'm using high voltage for my Transcendent slot, just all around probably the best bossing module you can use for Bunny. It changes how our 1 and 3 operate by reducing how many targets it hits, but exponentially increasing the damage. One thing that it does not tell you in the tooltip is that it actually reduces your cooldown as well, which is why I'm not running any skill duration or nimble fingers for cooldown reduction. If we look here, I'm currently at 20.7% cooldown, or 20.7 second cooldown with a 21.8 duration. So if we go ahead and take this off, I'm now sitting at what is it at? 28.3 second cooldown with a 21.8 second duration. So absolutely stellar in the fact that I don't have to use an extra mod for nimble fingers. I can use something else. Moving on, we have increased HP and HP amplification. These obviously just give us a ton of more health, so that way we can survive longer. Electric Master for the skill power modifier, as well as electric skill power. Front lines for crit and crit damage. Emergency measures for crit and crit damage. And then skill insight for more crit. These 3 mods are kind of personally. I might end up replacing them in the future, depending on how hard content gets. Might end up replacing it with more defensive options. Maybe throw on like a spear and shield, or throw on something that has health. Not entirely sure what the deal is yet, but I'm not sure the investment into crit is worth it for the value we get out of it. With these 3 mods slotted, if we go ahead and look at my base crit, it's sitting at 30%, which is not fantastic. I mean, it's nice to crit and all, but at a 30%, I just don't think it's worth 3 mod slots when I can either live longer, do more DPS that way, or maybe just throw on some other stuff. I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you can think of some options to replace these with, but I have yet to find something that I think is better. Using HP Collector gives you a 9% heal of your max HP every 2 seconds when killing an enemy. Just absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the best mods in the game. Skill expansion to make sure we're hitting anything and everything, especially on bosses when we have to run for ammo pickups or get health or mana or whatever the case may be. It guarantees that we still have high voltage hitting the boss while we're turned around with our back to them, so we can keep our DPS up and then increase defense. If you notice, I'm not using any resistances, and the reason for this is because of how resistances scale due to diminishing returns, as well as defense. But I will have a link in the description below, so that way you guys can check out the video regarding that. I'm not going to break it down here. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and look at my external components first. Right now I'm sitting about 12,000 health. Most of these have defense on them. I have health double rolled on my auxiliary power. Wish it had fire resistance instead of Cooper Shard drop, but I'll farm that out eventually. Running defense chill resistance on my sensor, defense and defense with electric resistance on my memory, as well as defense, max shields, and resistance on my processor. Eventually, I want to switch out my processor and sensor with HP variants. If we switch out this, for example, let's see, do I have an HP one? Yeah, there we go. That alone puts me up to about 16,000 health. If we do this one as well, now we're sitting at 17.7 thousand, so it's a massive increase. So I'll eventually end up getting that together, but as of right now, I'm not too worried about external components. Let's go ahead and throw this back on. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? There it is. As far as sets go for external components, there are a couple you can keep your eye out for. The Supernova set off of Hard Mode Executioner is fantastic. It's likely best in slot due to the skill power modifiers, as well as the additional ability of doing 100% of skill power modifier every 2 seconds at a 50% chance. Haven't actually been able to test it myself, but it's seeming like that's probably going to be the best one. I also am considering the Acrobat set, but like I said, skill crit is kind of meh. The skill power, firearm attack, and firearm critical are fantastic, but the skill crit rate only ends up being about 2.1% due to how our base crit is only 10%, so kind of hesitant about going that route. There is one more set here. It is this one right here, the Slayer Auxiliary Power set. It increases our general rounds, which is fantastic, and increases our magazine capacity, which is also fantastic. Skill costs more, which honestly isn't that big of a deal on Bunny. Most of the time we're just spamming our 3 and nothing else anyways. But the 26.1 skill power, absolutely fantastic. That is a massive increase. So I'm debating on trying to get this one as well to test it against the Supernova set, to see how different it is. This one is additive, while this one I believe is multiplicative, so I'm pretty sure Supernova is still going to come out to be top dog, but I'll try it out eventually. As of right now, I'm not too worried about it. But let's go ahead and jump into the Infinite Mana set, or the Infinite Sonic set. So this is what we're running for that setup. We're using Energy Collection for MP Recovery and MP Collector to stabilize our mana production, to make sure we are always sprinting 24/7, even if we are not killing things. A lot of times you'll be in missions with other people and they're the ones getting the kills, so we won't be able to proc our MP Collector, but the mana drops will ensure that we are staying up to 100% almost the entire time. Just one drop, as you saw in the video before, gives us about like 80% of our MP, and I'm sitting at only 300 MP with this set. Let me put on the other item. This one is ideally what I would use for farming. Some consumable drop rates for extra mana drops and some more MP. Puts us at 451. Makes it a lot easier to sustain this. We're using increased HP to make sure that we're not getting one shot. Nimble Fingers to make sure our third ability is always up. Focus on Singular for more damage on our third ability. Electric Master for the modifiers. Maximize range, and then skill expansion to make sure we're hitting everything possible. You could put this up to max if you wanted to. I believe it goes up to like nearly 100%. I don't think it's very necessary, to be honest. The zones aren't that big. So this is personally what I like to run, but entirely what you like. As you can see here, I still have a bunch of mod space available if I wanted to upgrade it. But that about wraps it up for the Infinite build. The reactor that I'm using, I have skill duration and skill cooldown. Let's go ahead and take this off. What is this? Yeah. If we look at my third ability over here, you can see that it is a little bit off. Descendant modules, there we go. Cooldown's at 22 seconds and duration is at 20 seconds with this setup. So if you do not have a reactor with skill duration up and skill cooldown, you could switch out your Technician for Singular. Let's put that on. If I can. I don't think I can actually. Let's take this off. Okay. And that makes it about even right there. There's a 0.7 second difference, so if you really wanted to get that 0.7 difference, you can replace Electric Master with Focus on Electric, which adds another 6.1% cooldown. That will put you over the duration for or under the duration for this, so your cooldown will be up 100%, excuse me. But yeah, that is about it for the setup. Let's go ahead and look at the guns. Using Thundercage, using better insight for crit rate, rifling reinforcement for attack, fire rate, more crit damage, expanded weapon charge because I love to spray and pray. Firearm attack 61% with 20% more recoil, which is honestly not very noticeable. 20% weak point damage, 120% crit damage with a reload modifier of negative 30%. Not noticeable again, as I was saying. Real life fighter is probably the most substantial damage increase in the entire build. Reduces accuracy by 20%, but it increases our attack by, right now it's 7.7% for 5 seconds up to 10 stacks. And we lose 2 stacks if we fail to hit a weak point. At max, I believe it's about 10%, so that's a 100% damage increase whenever hitting weak points, which, as you saw from the video, it is pretty easy to substantially hit weak points almost all the time. So it's just a fantastic mod. I'll probably end up putting in an accuracy mod to counteract the negative accuracy on this, just to make sure that I'm always hitting weak points and not losing those stacks. But that's down the road. I don't really feel like putting any more catalysts into this at the moment, because I want to invest more into my tamer for Ajax. But eventually that'll be the case. But that about does it for the build. Thank you so much for watching. If there's any comments, questions, or concerns, go ahead and leave them down below or send me a message. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. And I'll have a Ajax video out pretty soon, if not tonight, then probably tomorrow, with an Immortal build and then also a 45% increase gun damage build. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, thanks for watching.